During the community livestream, which took place in October 24th, the devs revealed a lot of information coming in the PTB on November 4th, some of which was the new anti-slugging, camping and tunneling mechanics. So here is my honest review about all the new changes and new information. Slugging, tunneling and camping are the reasons why a lot of people are rage quitting off the game, and frankly I can't blame them. As someone who's been playing Dead by Daylight since 2017, I do have around 8.3k hours in this game. I've gotten camped, I've gotten tunneled, I've gotten slugged more times than I can count at this point. So I'm quite happy that the devs are doing all that they can to prevent this. Starting off with the first anti-mechanic, we got the anti-face camping. According to the chart that the devs have given us in the stream, this is what the devs consider face camping. If the killer stays 8 meters close to the survivor, that's face camping. If the killer is 8 to 24 meters, it's proxy camping, and anything beyond that point is considered patrolling. The first thing that they made to all this is allowing all of your teammates to see the result bar so that they will know when you are going to unhook yourself. This is a very useful feature, especially for solo queue survivors, as it will give out a lot more information, allowing other teammates to keep focusing on gens, giving the killer an option to either stop the gen rush or continue camping. I am actually quite happy with these changes here. I've been waiting for this change for a long time now. I'm quite happy that the devs finally added this. As I'm showing you here in this clip, the result bar fills up much faster depending on how close the killer is. The distance from the hook for the result bar to fill is now 20 meters, but despite it being huge, the bar will go up extremely slow while you are far away. Finally, if you hook a survivor, all nearby survivors will have the result progress bar paused for 7 seconds. In my opinion, 7 seconds may be a bit too much for this, since a lot of killers can run basement builds who can counter this easily. So I think dropping this down to a maximum of 5 seconds would be beneficial for the survivors and for even the killer itself if they're running a specific build, or if you're just playing Nurse or Basement Bubba. Moving on to the anti-tunneling features. During the community livestream, the devs showed us that around 40% of matches features tunneling in some way. This was kind of surprising for me, to be honest, as I thought it was going to be higher, since most of my solo queue matches either me or one of my teammates always ends up getting tunneled regardless, which is always kind of annoying. But as I'm showing you here in this clip, now when you get unhooked as survivor, you will get a haste, and then during status effect, you will also be able to see the killer's aura 32 meters away from you for 10 seconds. And we do have the illustrative status effect once again. However, now you will be muted as well if you have an effect for the survivor, such as a puking effect or a cough effect. I know that a lot of Plague mains, a lot of Nemesis mains are definitely not going to be happy about this one, but I personally think it's a much needed change. Now, being able to see the killer's aura from 32 meters may be a bit too much. For me personally, I am a survivor main. I honestly think they should lower it to like a 25 meters, maybe at most a 27, so it will be fair on both sides. To make all of this fair for the killer, during endgame you will not have these buffs. So it's very similar to the Decisive Strike, for example, where it completely deactivates itself during endgame. It does make a lot of sense for the killers. We also have a Survivor Collision once again, as the devs did say that survivors could use this aggressively in the PTB, which from previous experience, I don't blame the devs whatsoever. I think this is a much balanced change here of survivors having collision, since before, when they first actually introduced all of these features, a lot of survivors did abuse these to the max, so I don't blame them. As for the killer side of all of this, killers now get less rewards if they tunnel, but they don't necessarily get punished at all. This is a bit dumb, as it still gives killers reasons to camp and tunnel. For me personally, I think they should make it so if the killer tunnels one survivor for the whole game, they should make it so they will be able to get no blood points while chasing that same survivor. I think there will be a lot more fair for the survivor itself and for the killer, so that he will be able to chase other survivors during the game, not just tunnel one whole survivor around for 5 gens. I think there will be a reasonable change, but I'm not sure if a lot of people would agree with this. If the killers get a unique hook, they will get extra blood points multiplier, similar to the old barbecue and chili. Once a killer hooks a survivor, he'll also get a 15-second bloodlust instead of haste. The main reason for this change is that this will not be used with powers to make killers such as Spirit, Ghoul, Chucky, Oni, or Blight stronger. This bloodlust will deactivate when you find a survivor, use your power, or perform an action to prevent it from stacking with itself. I am quite happy with this change here, to be honest. The fact that killers get a bloodlust status effect instead of haste. There were builds where that you can easily make your haste status effect longer for killer, which was kind of annoying to go against, so I am quite happy with the 15-second bloodlust instead of haste. Moving on with the slugging change. The devs want to make this not as miserable as it currently is for all survivors. So due to that, the devs are adding the anti-slugging feature back into the game, but it has gotten nerfed, as now it's 120 seconds on the ground, which is halfway of the bleeding timer. Furthermore, for each survivor slugged, the rest will get their anti-slug mechanic 33% faster. However, survivors cannot recover while moving, and the speed will increase the longer you are on the ground, as I'm showing you here right now in this clip. Now, I am quite happy that the devs have given us the anti-slugging feature back into the game, but due to this, there is going to be a perk change. Is going to be Tenacity. Tenacity will get changed due to these new anti-slugging features, which I can't really blame the devs. They are trying to balance everything out for both killer and survivor. I am quite happy that they are trying to put both sides in perspective here, not just for one-sided updates. The devs have been putting out a lot of one-sided updates, such as killer-sided updates mainly nowadays, while there have a lot of also been some survivor-sided updates as well, to be fair. But all around, for me personally, in my opinion, I am quite happy that they're adding all these features back into the game. I think they're a lot more balanced than the previous ones, both for killer and survivor. There are a lot of changes I would make personally to these features, such as I already mentioned, where if the killer tunnels one survivor throughout the whole game, they will not be granted the blood points, just to make it more fair on the survivor side and to make it less annoying for the killer. But that's just me personally. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. But anyways, all that said, I will be waiting on the PTB for November 4th to fully test out these features. I assume all of you guys are as well. I honestly do quite love these features. I can't really complain with them. Anyways, all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a good night, guys.